challenged me more so than any other team has challenged me in good ways, in bad ways. But it made me a better coach coaching this group of girls because of A, how hard they worked, and B, just, you know, they wanted to improve themselves so much as a group that they asked more of me, and I'm totally okay with that. And I want them to know that. But more so than anything, this group was resilient throughout this entire year. It's you know, we did Wellness Wednesdays every Wednesday starting back in August. And this group, I could just tell, was very supportive of each other throughout the entire year. Obviously, as with you know, Wellness Wednesdays, we had highs and lows. We had plenty of them. And I just think that overall, when we look back on the season, there's a lot to be proud of. A lot of successes we had, and just a lot of things that we're going to remember for good or bad. And I just really appreciate you guys sticking through it through the entire year, and being resilient, and, you know, supporting me as a coach, and, you know, making the best out of a year that we didn't really get to show what we could really do, because I know that if this was a normal year, this would have been a big year for this girls team. This would have been like an NCS go year, push for MCALs. So in that sense, and I'm not saying the boys, you know, we're a little bit farther behind that. It's the truth. But it's tough to keep that motivation for a group that expected to have such a good year with the results, and then have a year and then not really have any results that mattered. So I know how difficult that was, but these girls are amazing. They're really just a cool bunch to coach. Obviously their skills got amazing all the way through the season, especially the girls that started for the first time, and some of the girls coming up to varsity for the first time. And I just really appreciate the contribution that every single one of these girls had to this team. So thank you guys. All right, and first up, she already was up here, but Jada, come on up here. So the reason Jada is up here is because she is earning her first year. You probably heard her block letter. Well, first year for water polo block letter. And the reason she's earning that is because she stepped in as the first. Once we got cursed with 3 concussions in probably 2 days, I think. And while she was part of it, she also stepped in. I asked her the day of a game, hey, can you be goalie for us during this game? And, you know, without hesitation, she was like, yeah, I got you. And hopped in there, had a great game for us, took one off the head, ended up getting a concussion herself, but just kind of that selfless attitude, and just I'm willing to sacrifice myself for the team. Not, you know, I didn't mean for that to happen, but just kind of that attitude is why I really appreciated having Jade on the team, and is why she's earning her first year block letter on varsity. So. All right, Katie Kurth. And I want to note that pretty much all these girls had a 4.0 throughout this entire season. So let's get around. Katie was one of the girls, like I mentioned with Caitlin and Julia and some of the other girls, who were balancing 2 sports at the same time in this season, you know, this crazy season. And you know what, Katie did a great job for us every single time. No matter what team she played for, she was always willing to either be on JV or varsity. She was like, Coach, where do you need me? I will be there. And I just really appreciate that attitude, especially for somebody who's juggling 2 sports and, you know, playing in 2 different sports at the same time. I know how that goes, and I just appreciate your commitment to this team that entire year. So thank you very much. And soccer player number 2, Chippy. Yeah, like Katie, Chippy did a great job for us. She came in clutch moments during clutch games and really put in some good minutes. Had a great goal. I think it was against Redwood. I remember a good goal against Redwood. Anyway, Chippy, like Katie, as I said, really tough to balance those sports because I know she's successful in both of them. But I just really appreciate the commitment that Chippy had for the season, and I'm looking forward to next year for her. So good job. Apparently she's the ball master. And Zoe was somebody who probably was one of the most consistent people coming to the practices throughout the entire season. I think I rarely ever saw Zoe miss, and the only time that Zoe did have to miss is when she had a concussion, and I could just tell it drove her nuts. And that just kind of shows you the person that Zoe is and the hard worker that she is. She just came out of concussion protocol, got hit in the head again, and we were terrified that it might have been another one, but it was all good because, she's strong enough to get through that, and we weren't going to go through that again. But anyway, Zoe just mentally stayed tough throughout the entire thing, and then came in and played some amazing minutes for us in games. I remember, I think it was the Novato game, you had that one on nobody steal all by yourself all the way down and scored. Zoe's just a pleasure to have on the team, always smiling, always laughing, and I'm just very proud of what you do this year. All right, Rosie. All right, and Rosie came in this year, first year on varsity, and obviously we know her sister from the years past, and not to compare her to her sister, I think Rosie basically just paved her own name on the varsity team this year, and just showed that as a sophomore she can come into a rough environment against some really tough teams and handle herself, and just kind of get over that. All right. Get the confidence that I can hang with these girls. She really showed that throughout this entire season, worked hard, and I think just the next 2 years for you are going to be amazing. So keep up the hard work. Good job, Rosie. All right, Sydney. All right, Sydney, just a really solid player for us. Both in and out of the water. She works her butt off, but also spends the extra time and energy to really try to focus on little minute corrections and minute fixes to really improve her game. She's playing pretty much year-round polo, but she definitely, when she comes here, she's committed to this team and just really spends her energy trying to make this team better. And ultimately, she had a great year for us. Defensively, her and OJ on the 1-2 side were just kind of found the rhythm towards the end of the season. Our 5 meters we're still working on them. But ultimately, Sydney had just an amazing year for us. She's got one more year left, and we're just really looking forward to what she's going to do. So, good job. All right, Meredith. All right, Meredith, I almost put Meredith down for most inspirational because, again, like years past, she has the tendency to want to just go up against one of the toughest girls and just kind of shut them down. And it's just really kind of cool to see. Sometimes, it may seem like a mismatch, but once that girl gets away from her, they're like, who the hell was that? And that just kind of sets the tone for a lot of our games, is just Mare's determination, mostly on defense. She just is tenacious and very, very tough, when you're guarded by her. And that sets the tone for the rest of our group, and defensively. And a lot of times Meredith is one of the more vocal girls out in the pool. And definitely just commands a lot of respect, but also is a leader out there, and I really appreciate what you did this year. So, next year, let's bring it. All right. We're going to go through 2 special awards, and then I'm going to bring up 2 seniors that are here. So, this first one, this girl basically, like all these girls up here, I said it to all the groups, but everybody could have earned this award. And I say that because we've been training for a year, and yes, everybody's improved through a year. And if you haven't, I'm sorry, I didn't do my job, but everybody improved. But this girl definitely spent the energy in and out of the pool, was consistent. You could just tell that she just, she took she took the opportunity I gave her and just ran with it. And that is Captain Farner. So she earned that because she came from the JV team last year and went from the JV team to then being pretty much a starter that didn't come out of the game. In rare occasions she came out of the game, but it's a lot to go from JV to a full-time starter, and I just really appreciate the effort you showed all year. So good job. All right, and I totally didn't mean to do this, but I guess I did. Most inspirational. So come on up, Petra. So I gave all the goalies most inspirational. But in that sense, Petra basically stepped up to the plate. She had been training all year long to be in the field. Was with me during the summer, and then finally got to a position where we had those two concussions and we needed a goalie. And Petra stepped up, and basically when we played TAM, Petra had an amazing game against him, and really kept us in that game. I wish we had started you earlier at that position, but I'm really, really proud of what you did, stepping up to the plate and really just helping us out in that position. So for that, she earned the most inspirational player. All right. Next up, Teresa Shea. So, Teresa, this was obviously her first year with us from San Domenico. Really wish we had her more years than just one, but Teresa came in and had the swimming background, but wanted to learn water polo, and just did an amazing job, like really figuring it out and earning kind of a spot on the varsity team. Being a senior, obviously she was going to be there anyway, but it's not something I give. She actually earned it. And I really appreciate just all the hard work you did, the consistency you had. I wish, again, we had more years with you. So I wish you had more years in water polo. But more so than anything, I really appreciate this senior for going through, the year she had, being on a new team. Obviously, she's great friends, has been brought into this team and this family, and she's really contributed to the overall success of this program. And in the 1 year that she was here, she contributed to that in a big way. And I just really appreciate all you did in this 1 year we had you. And I wish you all the best of luck next year at UCSC. Go Slugs. And yeah, thank you very much for that. All right, and last but definitely not least. So, this girl, I had the pleasure of coaching her for 3 years now, and she, as a sophomore, was an amazing player, and then just as I got to see the years go on, just watching Olivia mature into the person and player that she's become has just been, it's been really, really amazing for me to watch as a coach, because it's why I coach in general, just to see kids' successes, hopefully have some part of it, but more so than anything, just being ultimately proud that I was able to be, a part of her journey through high school. And Olivia contributed so much in the water, but so much more out of the water to this team. She was, I think, I don't know if I can put a tag on this, but it seemed like you were the mom to this team. It seemed like you were very much a motherly figure, always keeping them informed, always, keeping people motivated. Olivia was our captain this year, and she had a year that she had to try to keep a team motivated as a leader when we didn't have any end date or even a date set up until, after swim season. So in that sense, she decided not to swim even without a date being set on water polo. And that shows you the commitment that Olivia made to this group right here, girls and guys, and just what she committed to this program in general. I mean that wholeheartedly, that Olivia contributed so much to the success, and it's why, you know, the rest of the teams from years to come are going to be successful, is because of girls like her that come through this program. And I'm really happy that I was able to coach you, Olivia. I really appreciate you, and you've obviously earned the most valuable player in and out of the water. One more round of applause for the great group. All right, and before I finish, the last person, and probably the first person I should have thanked, was Greg Stilson.
Yeah, great!
Like I've said in years past, it's just it's a really special thing for me to be able to have my high school coach as my assistant coach, my co-coach.
Assistant has no responsibility.
Anyway, he makes this program better. Like he really cares about all these kids. He's here on his own time, and I can't appreciate you enough. So thank you very much.
Thanks for letting us have your kids. Thanks for trusting us with them. Amazing group of kids. Some I've known for their whole high school careers or longer, and some I've just met. But I've really enjoyed working with them all. Can't say enough good things. Jeff has said all the good things, so I'll leave it at that. Just thanks so much for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, and one more round of applause for this great group of kids. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, everybody sit down right quick.